Madam Mayor, I don't think there's any doubt that we can do a better job of informing the public, and so many people get their information from the internet now, and once it's on there, it's available to whoever wants to access it. So perhaps if you'd help us after the new year turns to improve our internet site, our website, our mailing list, there's a lot we could do to inform people and make all the information there. We don't have to print off reports of 200 pages. We can just post it on the website and let people work with it. And I think we can do a much better job, and hopefully after the first of the year we will.
I really think that things like that are possible. I mean, I know there's a lot of tension in the air in this room right now. There's people who are supporting and opposing, and people kind of feel like they have to take a side, an opposite side of somebody who they think is the opposing force. But I think there are certain things that we all want. But one of the things that is happening here is there's a certain amount of distrust. And it's because of what people are reading into these documents. I mean, of course, all of you have said, you look at the Crandall and Rambula plan, and holy smokes, that's amazing stuff, you know. And I looked into how much we've paid them. The citizens of Casper have paid them far over $100,000. And it just blows my mind that you would ask them, you know, we don't want the promenade on this picture because we don't want the promenade. And they tell you, well, for our credibility, we want to keep the promenade. What were we paying them for? I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not used to, I've never made out a check for that amount, so maybe things change after a certain dollar amount, but I should think that they would give us what we want when we pay that kind of money. Is there any other questions for me?
Yes. Councilmember
Just a quick comment. This Vision 2020,
Yes.
as the mayor stated, this is the one that we threw in the garbage can because the consultant they're using was not performing. So we're starting from scratch and with a new entity. And this is a federal requirement. We have to do this through CDBG funds and MPO and all these other organizations. You have to do these, and it's just as simple as that.
But what about all the citizens?
And then I would state, we are not Ogden, Utah. Okay, and I'm getting a little, we're not Ogden, Utah. First off, our form of government is entirely different. What their council, and I repeat, their council, not Mr. Patterson, and I think there are a lot of these things are aimed at Mr. Patterson. The city administrator only is in control of the budget that's presented to him. And it's the same thing as the city manager. It's the council and their mayor. And I don't know why you have to impugn Ogden in this. I'm sure that Ogden could come in here and find out some examples where the city of Casper City Council made some pretty dumb decisions in hindsight. Bump outs. We know some stuff. So, you know, I appreciate the idea that there's some things that were done in Ogden, but quite frankly, I don't care what was done in Ogden. I only care about what's presented and what us as elected officials are having on our plate to look at. And I think there's 9 intelligent people sitting here now and 4 new ones coming in after the first of the year. I don't think you need to be impugning the city of Ogden, its former mayor, its council, because really, if you want to know who you're impugning, it's the council, because the council is the one that sets your budget. The mayor just implements it. I'm assuming that's the way it is in Utah, and there's that form of government. So, I know you have concerns about this plan, but it's not necessary, in my opinion, to bring in Ogden in this. You know, if we do something wrong, I expect you to yell at us and not something that happened in another state.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying, and the reason why I feel that this is pertinent is because this entire plan, according to what I found on our website, at our city website, our city manager is the one who put in all of these action plans with all of these items. There's a lot of projects. I don't know if you, I mean, it's the 37-page strategic plan that was written by the city manager and given to the city council right at the end of November. I believe it was November 27th. And in that was a very itemized list of projects To me, it looked like a Christmas list. The reason why I feel that this is pertinent is because these are unfinished projects from our city manager's former place of employment. Now, I think that there is a parallel there. I think that it is something that needs to be looked at. Now, maybe Mr. Patterson didn't have anything to do with those bids.
Can I interrupt you one real quick? Can you point out one thing that Mr. Patterson brought from Ogden in this?
Yes, a field house,
What?
a field house,
A field house?
a field house.
The conference center?
No. Let me tell you exactly what I'm talking about.
A field house.
I think I want to jump.
The only reason I raised this is because most of the big projects were started before Mr. Patterson even came here. And, or at least the ideas were germinated much earlier. And most of the projects that are ongoing are budgetary in nature, so I guess I'm just trying to understand where you're drawing this from.
You know, when I was at the work session last week, there was a gentleman here from the Downtown Development Authority, and he used a word that I would like to use that he said. He said, you guys are very busy, they had time to be a little nimble and look at things a little bit deeper, and that's what I did. And, you know, I'll admit, when I first read this plan, I didn't really even know what a field house was, but I started looking into Mr. Patterson, and I did find a field house in Ogden. And what a field house is, and it is in goal number 7, item A4 of the strategic plan. The
Just
field,
so everybody knows, I'm sorry to interrupt.
that's okay.
The document that we're approving tonight is 3 or 4 pages. It's been revised. Have you guys seen that document?
I have a copy of that with me too.
Okay, that's the one we're approving tonight. So the document that was 30 pages that you might have been referring to has been done away with, and this document is.
So then am I to understand that all of the items in the original strategic plan that was given to the city council, all of the items that do not appear on the list that we have tonight are void?
I can tell you that on my document, goal 1 has A through H of ways that they may try to accomplish our goal.
So does that mean that the items that are on the 35-page strategic plan are no longer, they're void, they're no longer void? That itemized action plan, Mr. Patterson's?
Do you
Yes
want
or
to
no?
jump on that?
Well, I think yes or no.
I'd love to jump in the opportunity, but yes, the action plan that we presented to you, the 32 or 33 pages, the majority of which were action plan items, was one way to skin a cat, as I referred to earlier. There are many other ways at which we can achieve the objectives. The action plans that we came up with were staff's best recommendations on how we could do it. But again, not wanting to get lost in the weeds, we said there are 7 goals, and then there are 49 objectives to meet those goals. There are many ways to achieve those objectives. Let's stay up at the policy level, which I'm asking you all to consider this document from tonight, and not get lost in the minutia of the action plans we'll work on as we go through the budget process in a few months, and then subsequent years thereafter.
Councilman Harrison?
I think Mr. Patterson explained it well. They're simply being rethought. They were staff's ideas. That's what the council does. We ask the staff to help us develop some ideas to get this implemented. Still, everything comes before council before there's any expenditures. So there were some ideas that we don't have all the time. We depend on staff to do that. But those things were set aside for now till we look at the major goals.
Councilman Goodenough?
Well, Madam Mayor, I'll repeat what I said before, the new council, this is the last meeting this year of this city council, I believe. And so the only documents being voted on is the shortened version. Anything else will be accomplished by the new council. And so I believe that's one reason that it was shortened so much. So I hope you'll come back and talk to us some more when the new council is seated. Those are the folks, 4 of these people are going away, 4 new people are coming on, and so that's who's going to be making all these decisions. The only vote tonight is only pertaining to, but that's an excellent question, because you wonder where they go when they disappear.